Hi folks, nice to have you back on my channel and welcome to this video. As promised before, this is the fourth and final episode of videos explaining some general and basic training principles about how to build endurance for fitness and speed skating. Of course, these principles are not only applicable for skating, but also for cycling or other endurance sports. And if you haven't done already, I would recommend to watch the first 3 episodes too, before this one. In these previous episodes I discussed the fundamentals and basic principles of endurance training, referring to the 3-zone training model of Stefan Seiler, using heart rate zones and rate of perceived exertion as guidelines to build endurance and speed in skating. In those videos, characteristics of training in zone 1 and 2 are explained. Today's episode is about training in zone 3 or high intensity zone, referring to the 3-zone model of Stefan Seiler. As the efforts are near all out, it's very important to do a proper warm-up before starting with high intensity intervals. This warm-up should be a mix of easy pace with some building efforts to prepare the body and mind to high intensity training. Training in zone 3 means that the effort should be done at a very high intensity. Zone 3 is determined as the heart rate zone above the anaerobic threshold. Referring to the rate of perceived exertion scale, the score will be a 9 or a 10 on the 10-point scale. The heart rate should be between 90 to 100% of the maximum heart rate. In my case, the target heart rate should be around 160 or above. Those efforts are very hard on the body and usually can only be sustained for just a relatively short period of time. This is why in a polarized training model, elite endurance athletes just spend 20% of their training in this zone and approximately 80% in the low intensity zone 1. However, training in this zone 3 generates the most physical adaptations and therefore gives you the best bang for your buck. Training in zone 3 can be considered as the icing on the cake. In this video I take you on a ride during which I perform 4 intervals of 1.5 minutes of high intensity efforts and 1 minute of rest in between. The duration of the intervals may change depending on your training goals, of course. Instead of time, you could also set a specific distance, let's say 4 times 1k or whatever. In the meantime, the first session has already started. I downloaded this workout to my smartwatch to keep me on track. Unfortunately, that turned out not to be very successful because of constant buzzes and other notifications. I was easily distracted, so I decided to do this workout just by feel. That wasn't too difficult because I just had to skate as fast as I could during 1.5 minutes. By the way, if you enjoyed this video so far, please hit the like button and consider subscribing. This would really help to grow my channel and to make more videos like this. For those who have already subscribed, I thank you very much. As the intervals are relatively short, I also tried to focus on my technique. I don't master the so-called double push technique yet, so I'm using the old school classic style. Try to sit as deep as possible, which is beneficial to the aerodynamics. Besides, sitting deep with more flexion in hips, knees and ankles enables you to make longer and more effective strides, resulting in higher speeds and always making sure that I keep pressure on both inner and outer edges. What happens in the body during such a high intensity workout? In zone 3, the main source energy are sugars or carbohydrates that were stored in the muscles as glycogen, in contrast to fat when training in zone 1. As glycogen storage is limited, you will run out of energy very quickly when performing above anaerobic threshold for a longer period of time. Lots of sugars are burned without the presence of oxygen. Lactate is produced as a result of the anaerobic oxidation process. Lactate levels will accumulate very quickly. The body isn't capable anymore to flush the lactate away, resulting in muscle fatigue and decrease in performance. This process will trigger the body to improve blood flow to and from the muscles, stimulating the growth of new vessels. This enables the cardiorespiratory system to provide oxygen to the muscles in a shorter period of time. As well, it is much easier to get rid of the waste products like lactate and carbon dioxide. The nervous system is stimulated to recruit more muscle fibers at the same time. This will make contraction of muscle fibers more efficient. The muscles are able to produce more power in a shorter period of time. Then we have the mitochondria. The mitochondria are the powerhouses of the cells producing the energy for your body. High intensity interval training stimulates the creation of new or extra mitochondria so that the muscles can keep up with the demand and efforts, since carbohydrates can be burned more easily. It's like having a bigger and stronger engine in your car. Especially when we age, the mitochondria tend to become less efficient, which it makes it more important to incorporate high-intensity interval training into your training routine as you get older. As a result of all the physical adaptations, the aerobic capacity will improve as the anaerobic threshold will raise. The maximum oxygen uptake, VO2 max, has improved, which will result in higher performances also for a longer period of time. Other than that, there are also positive effects on weight loss, as lots of calories are burned during these workouts, even after finishing such a training session. It is obvious that the length or duration of the intervals depend on your specific training goals. For shorter distances, short all-out efforts might be more likely, and for longer endurance events, intervals of several minutes might be more suitable. However, also for longer events, it might be wise to put some very intense and short intervals into your training routine. This will have positive effects on speed, and thus accelerating out of a pack or finishing strong probably will be more successful. Despite of all the benefits of this kind of training, I wouldn't recommend this to beginner athletes, as it may lead to injuries when you don't have a proper foundation to perform at this high intensity, as it put a lot of strain to the body. This is why I definitely would advise you to watch my previous videos about this topic. Anyway, that's it for this video. I hope you found the information interesting and it may help you to improve your fitness, speed and endurance. If so, please give it a thumbs up, make sure you have subscribed so you won't miss any of my future uploads. Leave any questions, comments, remarks or suggestions in the box below and I'll be happy to answer them. Thanks for watching and I hope to see you in the next one. Ciao!